Greetings, folks. This is DC Investing. I've reached financial independence and I talk about topics to help others on their pathway to financial independence. And the thing I wanted to talk about today was the cost of money and margin investing and how you can use it to get ahead, particularly as a young investor, um, and just kind of some thoughts on just like getting ahead in life. And so I just as a little bit of background before I talk about some new thoughts on margin investing. I was always one who did not like debt of any kind, and had a bad example from my father who was always in debt, and I didn't like that. And so I learned about um, the negative impacts towards buying more lifestyle, but that cost you, as opposed to buying assets. And I think this is kind of like known as the Dave Ramsey approach, where you just never go into debt, never pay debt. But I've really reconsidered that over the past little while as I've kind of thought more about investing and particularly the cost of money out there. And so over the past year, I have been tinkering with margin investing, and I actually have a $100,000 margin loan right now that's been done really well for me. I'll do another video um, about the benefits of what's happened. But one of the things I really realized is that there's a cost to money, and margin investing can actually be a lower cost than earning the money. And I'll explain why. And just for the sake of an example, I'm going to talk about having $100,000, which to a young person may sound like an astronomical amount. To an older person, it's just par for the course. You've earned it. And, you know, when you reach in the fire community, a lot of us have multiple hundred thousands that we're investing. And so, but just for the sake of it, $100,000. I think uh, Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's right hand man, said, "You got to do everything you possibly can to earn your first $100,000 because that makes a huge difference in life and investing." And he said that a number of years ago, and so that same amount might be $250,000 today. It's hard to say, but let's say you're trying to get your first $100,000. If you work to earn $100,000, there's a cost to that money. Part of it is that it costs you a whole bunch of labor in order to get there. But when you factor in your taxation, that money is not free. So in order to obtain $100,000, you actually have to earn more than $100,000. And what I'm talking about is when you have W-2 income, you work for an employer, the government is going to take 6.2% of your money for Social Security. So right off, your $100,000 costs 6.2%. Then on top of that, you've got to tack on Social Security, not Social Security, your federal income tax, which if you're going to be able to clear $100,000 in a year, most likely that's going to put you into the 12% bracket. So on top of your 6.2%, you got to add at least 12%. And then there's a lot of folks that are earning a higher amount than that. And so that'll push them in a higher tax bracket, whether it's the 22% bracket or onward upwards. But let's just assume, you're in the 12% tax bracket. So that 100% or $100,000 costs you Social Security tax and federal tax. And so that's near just over 18% of a tax. And then I live in a state where we have state tax. And so our state tax is about 5%. So you have to add that onto the cost of what you are making. And so to me, that's about, well, I don't know, 22, 23% that $100,000 costs me in order to generate it. So if you just earn $100,000, you lose all of those amounts to your taxes. So it's expensive. But let's say you want to have $100,000 to invest in the first place, you have to really make $123,000 in order to have $100,000 to invest. So that's the cost of money. If you have a W-2 job, it costs you 23%. So that's the traditional way that I always did things, was that I worked and I earned, and that's what I invested. But there's a strategy out there called buy, borrow, die, or other people's money. That's called OPM, trying to use it in order to get further ahead in life. And so I, I was intrigued by the Robinhood finance system because they publish some very low margin interest rates. And I think they started out at like 5.25%. And then as you borrowed more money, it took you down an amount. And part of the reason why I borrowed $100,000 from Robinhood is because at that amount, my interest rate is 4.5%. And so I get the use of $100,000 in order to do some investing strategies. So every year, this $100,000 that I have borrowed cost me 4.5%. So compare that to what that money would cost if I was working, which was let's say 23% in taxes. So, aside from the fact that having to work for the money costs a whole bunch of your life, borrowing money from Robinhood didn't cost anything, just a stroke of a button. And, I had other assets that I transferred over to Robinhood to get it. And I think right now I have to keep like $32,000 of a base minimum in investing in order to borrow $100,000 further on those. And so, my whole investment account is right now it's like what 440,000 or something like that in terms of investment value, but I only put in somewhere like $30,000 in order to generate that margin. So anyhow, quick, easy, borrowed $100,000, and then I can use that to invest. And so I've done this for a year, and for this year, it's cost me 4.5% to get that $100,000. Whereas if I was working at a W-2 job, then I have to pay 23% in taxes between Social Security, federal, and state. So I'm thinking, like, how long does it take before you break even between those two? So if you divide 4.5% for the margin interest at Robinhood into the 23% that it costs if I work a W-2 job, it's 5 years. So, 4.5 divided into, say, 23, it takes you 5 years to break even between the cost of money from working a W-2 job to the cost of money to borrow money and then pay interest on it. And that's significant because in the meantime, over the 5 years, you get to have the money that you then get to invest over time. So if I was trying to work at a W-2 job, you know, you'd have to work a year or two in order to clear that amount. Or in some cases, for a lot of folks, they have to work a lot of years because lifestyle is so expensive. It takes a while to generate $100,000 in free available cash. Whereas if you have a few assets, you can borrow against those assets to then create a marginal amount. So just realizing that money has a cost to it, and just working for money, there's a cost to that as well. It costs 23% in order to work to earn your money. And then margin is 4.5% if you're working with Robinhood. Now, I also invest with Fidelity, and over the course of time, I don't like their published official margin interest rates because they start off at like a base rate of 12%, and they say, if you borrow over $1 million, you get down to like 7.5%. But I learned that that's not really true, and that you can negotiate your margin interest rates. And so when I did that, I learned you can call up Fidelity, and I did that. And I said, hey, I'm pitting you against Robinhood. I want to work with your margin interest rates. I want a better rate. And they did it. They gave it to me. And so my margin account at Fidelity is now set at 5.35%, which is great because I have a lot of assets at Fidelity, but it's still Robinhood beats it. And I think part of why Robinhood has cheaper interest rates is because they're really aggressive on loaning your shares out to short sellers. So they're making money by doing that, and then they don't compensate you very much for that. And just to be aware that having a margin account with Robinhood gives them the ability to loan your shares out. Um, and I've done some other videos on that, but it's a trade-off for getting cheap margin rates. So anyhow, 4.5% is what it cost me over this last year to borrow $100,000 from Robinhood. The stocks that I bought pay more in dividends than that 4.5%. So that money cost me nothing over the course of time. And then I've had $100,000 to invest in some things that I was interested in. And over the course of the year, they've gone up over 30%. So I literally in capital gains have made over $30,000 on the $100,000 that I borrowed. And that money cost me basically nothing in comparison to whenever I worked at my W-2 job. In order to make $100,000, literally I had to pay $22,000 in taxes and Social Security because of that W-2 income. So just crazy thinking about the difference in, if you work the system right, the system is set up to reward borrowers and punish the average worker. And the cost of money to someone who borrows it is a lot cheaper than the cost to actually work for it. And so I just thought I wanted to present to the listeners out there just to rethink that. It's kind of scary to think, oh, I'm borrowing money to go invest. It might be dangerous. But if you just looked from a pure cost perspective, it costs a whole lot less to borrow that money than it does to actually have to go work for it, which is just crazy for me to think of as the conservative person that I always was. So so I just wanted to present that, really think about it, because borrowed money is a whole lot cheaper than worked for money. And it takes 5 years to break even between the two. And during that 5-year time frame, you could be using that money. So just, food for thought. Want to present that to you guys. And thanks for being a member of this channel. And just wanted to give you something to think about that I have learned over the past while and I'm currently using. So cheers. We'll see you. Like, subscribe. Bye.